Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Royce's Struggle Meals, a long forgotten series wherein I detail some of my most well known, or well known to me, crisis time foods. And oh boy, this is a crisis. So, PayPal had not been doing its withdrawals from my account on a regular basis. It had just let them stockpile up. So then they all came in at once and drained my account dry. It was the most upsetting thing that ever happened to me. I have been in a car accident. I have sliced my fingerprint off. I saw my own car go up in a ball of flames. But seeing my account go from $500 to $0 to $200 after a loan from my brother to $0 to $100 after my mom paid me back a loan I gave her a couple months ago to $0 again. It was like it's like God is punishing me. And I wanted it was getting me on all cylinders. So, without further ado, let's take a look at what kind of food that I can look forward to in the future. But it's not too bad. Buttered noodles. Yes, the oh well, it's not as buttery as they should be. I used one stick for two things. The rest of it is in the fridge. Um, well, no, three things of angel hair pasta. Um, this was a common meal from when I was a kid. Uh, um, my dad, back when he abused alcohol, was a slave to the demon drink. Um, there were times that he would sleep the entire day away, and this was his quick fix for dinner. Not that the kids minded, we loved it. And of course, you have your old friend Parmesan. I normally get I normally get the off-brand kind, but my cousin got the Kraft. And in better times, I mix in a jar of Bertolli vodka sauce into it because I like that. Mm. It's very plain, but it's very nostalgic. So yeah, why don't we? Since this is already a miserable episode, why don't I go over some of the worst experiences of my life? Just 1 second, though. If this were accurate to my childhood, it'd be a glass of milk, but I think a glass of water works just as well. Okay, excuse me. So, I'm only going to go over my personal experiences. I feel like I don't want to go over, like, family trauma. So, the first time I remember being like, oh my god, this is awful. Um, I was a little kid in Trainer, Iowa. And, I was out playing in, like, one of those little blue plastic pools. My dad was watching me, but he had to go inside to take care of some work stuff. So he put a cigarette out on the ground. And little kindergarten age me was always curious why mom and dad always smoked cigarettes. So I went over, picked the stub off the ground, put it in my mouth, and took a puff. To quote Ralph Wiggum, "It tastes like burning." It put me into a coughing fit. I hated it so much. And like, there was probably still a little bit of tobacco on it or whatever, but no, just inhaling smoke was just not no bueno. The next time was probably when, or the next worst moment of my life was probably when the first time I got the wind knocked out of me. Oh man. We had moved to Glenwood and I was showering. I slipped in the shower and got my gut right on the edge of the tub. I had no idea what getting the wind knocked out of you was. Now I know that it's your diaphragm goes completely out of whack and you have trouble breathing for a bit. It was miserable. I was just sitting there on the ground trying to gasp for air. Well, lying on the bottom of the tub, I mean. Then, not too long after, you have my first bout uh, with indigestion and acid reflux. I think I've told this story before. We went to a friend of the family's barbecue. Had a lot of fun. I ate a ton of burgers and barbecue flavored flavored Lay's. That night, I woke up with acid in my throat, choking. I actually developed a weird system of getting rid of it too. And do not do this at home. What I did was dumb and the actions of a child. I ate toothpaste. Somewhere in my brain, I was convinced that fluoride, being a base, I think it's a base, would get rid of the immense in my esophagus. Now I just keep a bottle of Equate antacids next to my bed. I believe in constant acid reflux is a sign of heart disease too, so yay me. Then in 2005 at Disney World, that was the first time I got caught in undertow. Well, I got caught in undertow twice in a matter of like 10 minutes. And I managed to push myself out, and I'm sure the lifeguard would have saved me if I hadn't, but that was scary stuff. I was worried I was going to drown. I was 11, but I was a big kid. Oh, Lord. I should go over all the dumb stuff I did in 8th grade. So, I was a very boring kid, but there's one thing I wasn't boring at. I was a compulsive liar. It's part of why I behave so candidly nowadays. Oh, sorry. I got so sick of lying that I finally was like, I will try to never tell a lie. Sometimes you're in a situation where you're forced to lie. Um, So, I was also really bad at doing my homework. I was one of those gifted kids who was a really good test taker, but the second I left the school, my brain went. As it turns out, I'm one of those types that needs a rigid learning environment. Um, so, also, I was bad at cleaning. I've always been bad at cleaning. Like my parents never really instilled in me a very good work ethic when it comes to personal maintenance. Well, maintenance of one's personal environment, I should say. I also have what I like to think of as Professor Calamitous syndrome. Tim Curry's character from Jimmy Neutron, he had this thing where he could never finish anything, even his own sentences. Um, just a weird little guy, and I have this issue where I can start something, but it's hard for me to finish it. Like once you get into the fine details of it, it really starts getting like, no, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I've always been kind of a good enough kind of cleaner. Well, except with dishes, like part of the reason I hate doing dishes so much is because I give them a full wash before putting them into the dishwasher because I was raised to believe that the dishwasher doesn't do enough, which this one definitely doesn't. It is stinky and bad. Um. Anyway, so my teacher confronts me about my missing homework one day, and and I, in a fit of cowardice and stupidity, lie to her and tell her I got jumped in the bathroom and the bully and wasn't able to see the bully's face, and he tore up my homework. She, I was in so much trouble because she immediately knew I was lying. I wasn't a troublemaker. I was just bad at doing homework. Um, oh Lord. They found most of my homework partially done in my locker. And she wanted to know why I just didn't turn it in, and I didn't really have an answer for her. I just had this weird thing where would rather not turn in my homework than turn in partial done homework. I guess it had to be perfect. I don't know. Nowadays, thinking about that logically, I could just be like, okay, I could have probably just put a note in saying, was not able to finish this part, I am sorry. If you would like me to finish it at a later date, I'm willing to. Uh, I was a very milquetoast kid, but I wasn't a good kid. I was lazy. Still am lazy, but you know. People are trying to tell me to do gig work to make more money, and it's like, part of it is I need gas, guys. I can't do Uber Eats or DoorDash or Uber Lyft when I don't even have gas in my car. But I managed to cash a check for, like, for some reason my tax return got sent in a large check and a much smaller check, and I found the smaller check earlier today and I cashed it. So, and I'm keeping that in my wallet, which put a little bit of gas in my tank, and I'm saving the rest for, like, emergency use. But I'm actually selling off most of my. I'm trying to sell off some of my statues and stuff too, because I don't buy things because I think they're collectible. I buy things because I like them. But now I'm at the point now where it's got to be like, well, I guess I got to sell it, which I don't like. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank y'all for joining me. Clark is here. He saw my tearful conversation with multiple people today. I also asked for an advance on my next paycheck, hopefully to make some ends meet. Oh no, you don't. Oh, don't. He's a sneaky little goblin. Anyway, you all have a good one. The story Miller. I'm out.